Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Masters podcast, helping the general public master an understanding of crypto assets. My name's Brian.
And my name's Ross.
And we are the Crypto Masters. Topic of today's episode is a Layer 2 solution called Celer Network. That's C-E-L-E-R. And Ross, you know when we say Layer 2, we're going to be talking speed and scalability. I got the need for speed.
Yes. Lightning McQueen, cars?
Oh, wow.
No.
Good. I like it. So, hey, quick reminder here. Our goal at the Crypto Masters is to provide information about crypto assets to help the public decide if it's something they may want to invest in and then do further research on their own. We generally look at projects to determine if they would be good for a long-term investment.
Yeah, Brian, we provide, different information about different crypto assets to allow you, the listeners, to make your own investment decisions. And hey, I don't remember getting any sort of CPA or, becoming a financial advisor,
certified
Brian.
financial advisor kind of thing. No, which we're not.
Yeah, this is not financial advice.
Yeah,
it's simply
right.
put, Brian.
You're right.
But as you said, Celer is a layer 2 scaling solution or layer 2 solution. We have previously talked about Matic. I think it might have been Polygon at the time.
No, it was Matic at the time. It changed
Did I
to
just
Polygon.
flip that?
It changed to
It
Polygon.
was Matic at the time. Now it's Polygon and Loopring as a layer 2 solution. So we will see how Celer is different and how it stacks up. So don't turn away. Keep watching.
Let's do it. So we've again, like you said, we've talked about layer two solutions that use plasma side chains, ZK rollups, and sharding to achieve their scalability. Celer uses a combination of scaling technologies, including generalized state channels and rollups, which we'll be talking about later. And they allow compatible blockchains to increase their throughput to better interact with one another. Celer achieves scalability to blockchain applications by providing a high-speed Layer 2 platform and a sidechain solution. We've talked about those before, but it's a little bit different here. So one solution is a Celer state channel. It's a sidechain solution that can be used to bridge multi-chain and multi-layer assets. It uses Celer Pay, Celer apps, and Celer nodes to produce an efficient platform for a decentralized application that can help layer 1 blockchains scale.
I wonder where they came up with those names.
Yeah.
It's the Celer node?
That's pretty good, yeah. So Celer has launched other products, including Layer 2 Finance, which is a platform that uses Celer's Layer 2 rollup technology to improve the efficiency of DeFi, as well as C-Bridge, an upgrade to the Celer state channel network that allows low-cost value transfers across a variety of Layer 1 and Layer 2 chains. Celer also has a partnership with Polkadot. So we talked about Polkadot. We had a show on that. Check out that if you need to learn about Polkadot. So it'll help that chain to scale even more. So Ross, why don't you tell us about how Celer actually achieves its scalability?
Absolutely, Brian. And, Celer Network uses a type of layer 2 scaling solution known as state channels. It works by allowing 2 or more parties to open a high-speed, low-fee payment channel off-chain using smart contracts and then finalize the transaction on an underlying layer 2 chain, such as Ethereum.
Layer 1.
Did I just say layer 2?
You did. But you
Man,
meant layer 1 like Ethereum.
I'm glad you're keeping me honest, Brian.
Yeah,
All right.
problem.
Focus, Ross. Let's do this. All right. Celer's platform uses a technology known as C-Stack, COS, C-Route, and C-Channel to allow developers to create off-chain enabled applications that can use Celer's state channels to resolve payments and other transactions off-chain. Celer's other products, including celerx, Layer 2 Finance, which, by the way, I checked out their GitHub. They're doing a lot of updates to that thing, so make sure to check that out.
Yeah, that seems legit. Yeah.
Absolutely. And DeFi is so hot right now. You got to stay up to date on that.
So hot right now.
Oh, yeah. And C-Bridge use a variety of different solutions to carry out their functions. On the Celer roadmap for the near future are the addition of ZK rollups, support to the Layer 2.finance as well as DeFi synthesis feature to provide a single entry point to the DeFi ecosystem of multiple chains. That's a mouthful.
Yep, that sounds good. I mean, any single entry for DeFi can only be good.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned some of Celer's products, and I'll discuss the main ones in a bit more detail. So C-Bridge.
Absolutely. I rambled through all that.
Well,
Brian,
you just
so
mentioned
I'm
them,
glad you're breaking.
Yeah,
it down,
let's break them down a little bit. So C-Bridge is a multi-chain network that facilitates low-cost token transfers between blockchains and Layer 2 solutions while not using the Layer 1 chain. C-Bridge can be used to connect Celer's state channel network with practically any other network, which is a great feature in this market. And you're going to be talking a little bit more about the state channel network, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So Layer 2.finance, we've already mentioned that a couple times. That's a big part of this project. It uses optimistic rollups. We've talked about rollups before.
It's better than pessimistic, Brian.
That's right. So it uses optimistic rollups to allow users to access Ethereum's DeFi landscape and save gas fees, which is a big deal right now, as anybody knows who's tried to interact on that.
Yep, I'm okay with less gas fees, for sure.
Yeah. So by using the Layer 2.finance, you can move funds to, from, and between a lot of popular DeFi protocols, including Compound and Aave, to maximize yield while keeping the gas costs down. Sounds great. Anybody who's doing this kind of yield farming will appreciate that this is an important thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the platform securely aggregates user funds together on Celer's Layer 2 chain to bypass Ethereum's high transaction fees when interacting with supported DeFi apps. So that sounds pretty big. And I think Layer 2.finance is a big part of the Celer network. So then there's celerx, which is a mobile. We've talked about mobile, how important that is. celerx is a mobile eSports platform.
Two big buzzwords
and
right
gaming
there. Oh, yeah.
application that rewards users in crypto tokens for playing and competing in skill-based games. We haven't, and I don't want to get on too much of a sidetrack on this, but this is the part of the future for sure.
Yeah.
Are these games that you play and you get rewarded for success in these skill-based games. It's going to be a big deal. So celerx is a part of that. And the platform is designed for games to be integrated easily, giving the game developers a way to monetize their games. Again, that's huge. And if you look at the success of Axie Infinity, to know this is a growth area of the crypto space, like we said.
Oh, yeah. I've been watching some, what do you call it? Play-by-play, not play-by-play. Watch people on YouTube like play Axie Infinity a lot, and it's huge. I didn't, before researching about it, I didn't realize how big that game was.
I mean, I haven't done it yet, but there's people in some countries that's their living.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they get on Axie Infinity and they play it basically all day, and that's how they make their money.
Shoot.
Interesting.
Side question for you watching. Comment down below. Tell us, should we do a little a play of Axie Infinity or a little episode on it? Well, let us know.
Not only that, but we will talk about other ones too, like up and comers. So Axie Infinity was the leader, but there's going to be some more up and coming. We'll talk about those.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Digress.
Yeah,
we digress.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think you're sending me a hint. So,
it's good,
Brian.
All good.
I want to talk about the consensus mechanism behind Celer. But before I do that, I want to discuss the SGN, which you alluded to, which is the State Guardian Network and its architecture. Now, don't get too intimidated by the name. Remember that a key piece of Layer 2 scaling solution is taking more trivial transactions off-chain for faster execution, and to do so, you have to manage the state of the network like a guardian.
Nice.
See what I did there? Yeah.
Nice.
But as we all know, consensus usually goes hand in hand with how transactions are processed and really how the whole protocol works. So so I just thought it'd be a good idea to discuss how this SGN works.
Yeah.
So let's get started. The SGN consists of 4 main components. The first being the main chain, of course, which smart contracts are held, which these smart contracts enforce things such as the fundamental rules of the system, which includes configuration of roles, rewards along with penalties for good and bad actors, of course, and fees for all network users. Now, in the main chain, delegated proof of stake is used to reach consensus for processing of a valid transaction. I've gone over delegated proof of stake before, but essentially, very, very summarized here, but essentially, stakers vote on who they want to process the transaction. That's super high level.
Right.
Make sure to give that a Google.
Well, we've talked about like on EOS, and it's basically you elect a certain number of people, usually not too high. We sort of came down on EOS for that. I think they had 30 or something like that. Basically, you vote for a representative in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that you used the word vote so that's better explained. But next are the delegators who stake Celer tokens on the main chain, and with staking get to vote on validators and governance proposals. And then it goes without saying that these delegators are then rewarded for their staking. Of course, proportionate to what they put in.
Yep.
The third component, remember there's four, there's the third component of the SGN is the validators, which I just mentioned are elected by the delegators. These validators are similar to those traditional miners. They run side chains to offer SGN services, calculate reward distributions for the delegators, and issue penalties for bad actors, also known as slashing. Yep. And the fourth and final component, Brian, can you guess it?
The users.
Dang it. Well, you saw my script before, so cheater. But you also read the documentation.
Yes.
But the users, these are the users of the system. They pay the service fee to get stuff done. These would be your decentralized applications that run on the Celer Network, that run various functions that fit the needs of their application.
Good.
So,
nice.
Without further ado, Brian.
Overview.
Yeah. Thank you. Maybe I'll add a little applause in the background right here. But, Brian, since you're the tokenomics master, tell us a little about the tokenomics.
I have become that, haven't I?
Yes. All right. You look thrilled.
So the Celer token is CELR. And Celer, I'll call it Celer. Celer has a maximum supply of 10 billion tokens, and about 5.6 billion are in circulating supply, that's been distributed as follows. 25% is reserved for the mining rewards. That's understandable. It's a proof of stake. Okay. Team and advisors got 20%. We've been seeing, I think, that a lot. A little higher, frankly, than we'd like to see, but not sort of unusual.
Yeah, that's not outrageous.
Right. Sure. And then the foundation really has a good chunk. And, the foundation is used to, try to find ways to lead to more projects onto the network. So that's not a bad thing. And then the rest went to the public. So I would say distribution is not bad, not good, pretty sort of average for what we've been seeing of late.
Yeah, right.
So Celer is an ERC20 standard token. It's used to pay fees for staking and the similar and usual functions that we've seen. So for tokenomics, I'm going to say, not a big positive, not a big negative, pretty much usual for what we've been seeing lately.
Okay, right on. Well, if we've enticed you to buy Celer, I'll let you know where you can buy it. So it's on Binance, OKEX, Gate.io, and others. You can pretty easily get this. And for Americans, you can get it on Crypto.com and Uniswap.
Yeah. So, there's a couple missing there. There's no Coinbase, no Kraken, but so for Americans, it's a little bit harder. Binance is sort of easy for everybody else, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Uniswap is pretty easy to get on, if the gas fees don't kill you. Otherwise, you got to get on Crypto.com. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Every time I hear Uniswap, I just think, oh, those dreaded gas fees.
Yeah, but I don't know. You got to time it out perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another show.
That is another show.
Maybe a brews and blockchain.
Yeah, tune in for brews and blockchain. That could get us going over some brews. The team, who's behind the Celer Network. But the Celer Network, it was founded in 2018 by a team of engineers with technical experience in the space. There are 4 co-founders. 4. That's a co. Yeah, 4. So of Celer, with credentials including PhDs in computer science, from universities like MIT and USC Berkeley, and with work histories from companies such as Google, Microsoft, Barefoot Networks, and Veriflow. So the team is legit, Brian.
It looks like they have a lot of good experience, good credentials. I think they're all Asian. I'm not sure really where it's headquartered, but I think it's somewhere in Asia. But you look at their experience and their education, it does look really good. I mean, so we always talk about, the team, and I think here the team certainly is not a negative. It's probably a positive.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Ross, you know what? It's time for
Final thoughts. Is that right?
Yeah. And you know who's up this week? You.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah. Let's do it. Celer Networks. What do you think, Ross?
Okay, Brian. Well, layer 2 scaling solutions, to be honest, they've got me excited. I know a lot of people talk about with the improvements of layer 1 chains and networks and such that layer 2 scaling solutions will be obsolete. But, I really think that layer 2 scaling solutions are just going to continue to be that key that pushes us to really mass adoption and stuff like that. I know one piece in the Celer documentation, they really harp on that layer 1s aren't going to be enough to really keep up that transaction speed that we need. We all know, we bring it up a lot that Visa and MasterCard are really killing especially the big guys like Ethereum and Bitcoin in transaction speed. And, if we're going to, a lot of people, there's some people that really don't like scaling solution. They feel it kind of infringes on that core, layer 1 idea.
Should be a layer 1 thing to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not opposed to that. I think layer 2s are, I think they're essential. Unless we really figure out how to get layer 1 being able to scale and compete with a MasterCard or a Visa.
Yeah.
So, layer 2 is good. I think Celer Network is great. What I've seen in the documentation and, just looking over their GitHub, they're keeping up with their projects and stuff like that. Good core team. I'll be honest, I don't think this will find a place in my portfolio, but I like to keep a batch of good ones. And I'm not saying necessarily that Celer's a bad one. I just prefer to keep a narrow focus in my portfolio. Yeah. But if you had this in your portfolio and you told me about it, I would not think you're crazy by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. So I give Celer a thumbs up for me.
Right. All right. So from my standpoint, I think, Ross, we've got to talk about I want to talk about our show on Matic at the time, which has become Polygon. And at the time, I think we both sort of naively concluded that, once ETH2 is here, this won't be needed. And so we're not going to invest in it. And we didn't. And wow, it has really done well. And in hindsight, I've got to say I was wrong on that. And I think the same with Celer. I mean, there's other layer 2s. I think layer 2s are great. I think layer 2s are here to stay to some extent, no matter what happens with ETH2. So this is an evolution for me and probably you. I've just come to see that these things have a role here. There's lots of layer 1s, and no matter how great some of them get, ETH2, Cardano, Solana, you're still gonna need these layer 2s. I don't know if this is true because you don't know what you can trust. I saw Celer can lead to billions. I literally saw billions transactions per second. And I don't know if that's true, but you said, when we get to the point where we got to compete on transactions per second with Visa and MasterCard, layer 2s are going to be important. And there's so many layer 1s that I think there's going to be a role for these layer 2s, no matter how great some layer 1s get at scaling. So
for sure.
So so I think layer 2s are here to stay. And then the thing I like about Celer is it sort of uses a combination. It has the state channel that you talked about. It has the roll-ups that we talked about. So it's sort of like not putting all of its eggs in one basket. Like we've talked about before with some of the others. They've sort of been, this is a ZK roll-up solution, or this is a plasma solution. But, with Celer, it's not putting all its eggs in one basket. It's kind of given a combination. I like that.
Yeah, that is a fascinating piece for sure.
Yeah, you know, the things that you talked about with the State Guardian Network. I like this. I think it's good. Now, as far as me buying it, I don't know because, you know, as an American, I don't have that many options. I'm not on, what was it on? Crypto.com.
Yeah,
I don't have an
crypto.com.
account there.
I don't have it. Yeah.
Now, of course, I have Uniswap, but, you know, I check the gas fees on that. But I'm with you. So I don't know that I'll be buying. I might because I think it very well could have some good price action. But, you know, again, as a long-term project, yeah, this is legit. This is worth buying. This is worth looking into. This is worth monitoring, and I give it a thumbs up.
Okay. Excellent. Well, hey, I think we have a little extra time left. Why don't we go to the Professor Hindsight tool real quick? You mind that, Brian?
Nice. Are you going to put it back here?
Oh, yeah. I'll put it behind us here, Brian. But
Cool.
We've got a tool that calculates, you know, what you could have made on a certain token at, you know, in a given time frame. So Celer has had some crazy price action, as you'll probably see behind me.
Let's say you buy it on January 1,
January 1? Okay. What's your amount, Brian? And by the way, this is on the cryptomasters.com, and you can search for the Celer Network.
It's on our website.
token.
People love that.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
We hear all the time, people love Professor Hindsight on the website. So go to thecryptomasters.com and then click over to, what do you click? Crypto?
Oh, yeah. Go over to crypto.
It says crypto, and then there's a
Crypto
drop down. It
prices.
says Hindsight tool. And then you go to Professor Hindsight. So you put in the coin, so or the token, you're putting in a Celer Network.
Yep. Celer Network.
We're going to do January 1, 2021. And let's say you put in 10 grand.
10,000?
10 grand. And then today, do we want to give the date?
Yeah, we can give the date.
All right.
I'll try to post this relatively close to
All
when we
right,
filmed
October
it. So,
26, 2021.
so
Wow, nice.
yeah, so total profit is 321,000. You've got a new amount of 331,000.
So you put in 10, and 10 and a half months later, almost, I guess, almost 11 months later, 331,000. That is nice.
That's pretty solid. That's a pretty good
nice.
price
And you know
action,
what?
you know?
This really hasn't got that much publicity. You haven't heard that much about it, but that is a great performance. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. No, this is one that's really not.
It's under the radar.
Yeah. You've heard. I mean, you'll probably heard about it, but it's not exploding on Twitter or anything like that. You know,
It's not.
which I'm by this price action. I'm really shocked.
Yeah,
but
isn't it still like what would we say, 120s?
Yes.
market cap?
As of this episode, market cap is 127.
All right, so
Yep.
yeah, still could have room to run.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely, it could.
Good project, man. Another great episode of the cryptomasters.com.
Yeah, you better believe it, Brian.
Good deal. All right,
Yeah.
You know what? We'll be back next week with another crypto asset.
Yeah.
Tune in, everybody.
Check us out. Peace.